Welcome back, Enter the Storm. I'm your host, Sham2.
Chef 2, you're the real rock star. You know that about yourself?
Alright.
Just hello, everybody.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining
You're watching Enter the Storm number 2, qualifier number 9. These guys are trying to get access to Enter the Storm number 2, which is a $5,000 tournament, plus some really sweet computer gear and peripherals. We got our map bands going on between Imaginary Gaming and Genji Perfect Seiha?
I'm gonna go Seiha.
Genji. That's cool.
I'm just gonna call him Genji. Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good one. That's a good idea there. They're unctuous.
All right, so our next map is going to be Sky Temple here. Now, this is a best of one. Both teams going to be trying to get ahead in this map because it means that they will move on to our semifinals, which are also best of one.
Which, yeah, it's getting on into the best of ones in the semifinals is even scarier. It's like you've come so far, but there's no actual leniency in the best of ones until the finals. The finals are actually what's going to be the best of three. But such is life. So let's check out, I guess, how both these teams are going to be approaching nothing but Sky Temple. Sky Temple is going to be the big one here because, again, we saw this last match, but Imaginary Gaming had a grip on Sky Temple that was undeniable.
Yeah, terrifying, really. They banned Jaina last time as well. The thing is, I don't think that they can count on Genji banning out Kalthas as readily as the last team. Like, it seemed like Imaginary and Elysium had a sense for each other's gameplay, so it makes sense that they would expect, when we ban Jaina, they're probably going to ban Kalthas. They can't really count on Genji to do that, I don't think. Or they can. Maybe they can. They can perfectly count on that, I guess.
Yeah, I guess both these teams were just like, you know what? On this map, we're going to go with the same reasoning we had last game. Jaina Kalthas don't want to deal with this crap on Sky Temple because just their damage is way too much. It's way too much, especially with the amount of AoE that they have available.
Kalthas Phoenix throwing that down on a temple? Like,
God,
what?
Right? What? Phoenix, Chain Bomb, Flame Strike. No, please.
No.
Please, no. Savannah's coming out first pick yet again here for Imaginary.
Yep, she's just strong on every map, let alone just Sky Temple. She's got the push, she's got the shove, she's got the deeps, she's got everything that it takes.
She really does. She's pretty much just undeniably probably the best pickup you can aside from Jaina and Kalthas. And since both of those are gone...
Picture the most terrifying hero brawler character that you could imagine. What would they have? They'd have damage, they'd have good lane control, they'd have a decent escape...
Maybe a really good silence for like 2 seconds or so.
Maybe a massive
AoE hard engaged silence for about 2 seconds. Yeah, you know.
All of these things.
Let's put all of that into one character. And
That's
Dustin Browder said, okay. Sorry, it's 2.5 seconds actually. I thought
that sounds good to me.
D-Bro was like, yep, that sounds good. Let's do it.
It's like Destructible Rocks, Sylvanas. Like those are the two things that are most exciting in RTS style games.
All right, so Vala Anubarak coming out here for Genji. Pretty standard. Anubarak has just, he's just now everywhere. He was nowhere, and now he's back.
Yeah, it's worth noting that Genji and Elysium are going about their drafting in a completely different way, right? Like, Genji's locking down a little bit of damage right away. They got Vala going on here, and they're following up with the Nubarak, who Imaginary actually had last game. So now, if Imaginary was thinking about going double tank again, they'd have to mix it up. It would have to be ETC and then somebody else, which is perhaps a little bit less reliable than ETC and Nubarak. So, I mean, it's nice that Genji's able to grab a Nubarak right away. Obviously, his burrow charge is really useful, but I'm interested in seeing how Imaginary adapts to that.
Well, so they're already doing a pretty nice pickup. That Brightwing is such a great way to deal with that Anubarak. You've got the Emerald Wind and you've got Polymorph, and both of those are really nice for just disengaging from the spines and from the burrow charge of the Anubarak. Mm-hmm. We don't really see too many Anubaraks, especially, since way back when we start dating myself, back in my day, when Anubarak had rewind and he was able to just burrow charge in and just start wreaking havoc and then burrow charge right back out.
Yeah.
But his spines are still a really great lead up to just about any kind of CC because you can see it coming. Sometimes you can't even dodge it, even if you see it coming. And it allows your team, as well as the enemy team, to know exactly when to chain the rest of that CC or to disengage as hard as you can. So that's what's great about Anubrak. He kind of like has this lead up, and it's a really nice lead up. ETC is going to be a really nice disengage there for the imaginary gaming, though.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, like not only like I mean his power slide talents are insane right now. He's got stuns, he's got knockbacks, he's the CC master. He controls like no one else can. So a really nice pickup. Zagara Malfurion coming out from Genji. I think it's interesting. I think it's nice to have Zagara, especially against somebody so like Sylvanas. It gives yourself some push options and a good way to kind of counteract Sylvanas' push. Which is why I think we see them so often kind of laning against each other. But also in team fights and around temples, she's really valuable. Her Hydralisk obviously doing so much damage, and when a Hydralisk comes out, like you just kind of have to leave. It's just Zagara's way of saying you're not allowed here anymore. You know, you need to get out.
I call it the stinky kid syndrome. Unless you're willing to like run up to the stinky kid with a whole can of Lysol and just spray them and deal with them all at one go, you just kind of stay away from them for a little bit. And you just kind of like zone them away from yourself.
That poor kid. Some people running up to him just spraying him in the face with Lysol.
Listen, as a like, former Lysol, stinky kid, it's okay. All right? I know the life.
It's like I'm pretty sure it's toxic. Like if you breathe too much of it in, this poor kid's like on the ground. You're just Lysoling him everywhere. That's awful.
That's his fault for being a stinky kid. Anyway, that's the best descriptor you can have for Zagara. You can't really, unless you hard engage and take her out in one go. You kind of like have to zone yourself because those Hydras are just constantly up. It's a very small cooldown for just how much effectiveness it has, as well as the roaches and the banelings. And even if you go hard engage on her, some Zagaras pick up in Venom, and then all of a sudden you're met with just a bigger mess. So stinky kid effect Zagara, so nice, especially in those lanes. Sergeant Hammer again.
Yeah, they love this. They're about this. This is almost the same team comp that they had last time. And Genji didn't grab like an Illidan to try to deal with it either. So like they do you think that Genji's team comp has a better chance of dealing with Imaginary's like kind of playstyle here than the last team comp did? I mean, Anubrak's going to be really valuable. The burrow charge in, the hard engage with that is going to be great. And the Muradin, so they are going double tank here. Really strong front line.
This is where it gets interesting, right? Like, what is Genji supposed to do here? They've got a double tank they're going against, right? So Zagara can pick up Giant Killer, Vala can pick up Giant Killer. They can melt those tanks really quickly. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the last tank, the one in the back line, that's going to be the one that's going to be the issue. That's going to be wailing away on everybody. So I think they need to pick up another warrior.
Interesting. I don't know. You don't think? I mean, yeah, I guess. You don't think another warrior would like put them to kind of?
They've got Vala and Zagara. They've got enough range damage for days. They can pick up a Zeratul and use a Void Prison to knock out maybe like Sergeant Hammer while they wail away on ETC and Muradin.
Alternatively, just VP the front line and everybody can just kind of like Sergeant Hammer can't.
Well, you can't really VP
unsiege and then move into the VP.
You can't VP the front line because then you have to walk around the VP and then it's just like you just put the warriors in the middle of your team while you try to get around it. So you have to go for the back line.
Right.
Or the whole entire team at once. But they don't really have a really nice wombo combo. Unless they like VP into Maw, which doesn't really, I guess, get you that much. Anubarak doesn't really have a great... Well,
that's a good point too. It means that, well, you can Maw the front line and then move around it. And then VP. Chain stun,
I don't know. It's a little bit risky. I think at this point, Zeratul is not a really good pickup for them. I think it has to be either a really strong ranged assassin like Falstad, where they can just sit back and wail away on the front line and hopefully kite and deal with it.
Oh yeah, and Falstad doesn't even...
Or they pick up a Diablo!
The double warrior. Alright.
Yes! My boy Dibble's coming on in here. Now. I know how this Diablo's going to play. And I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, Unctious. Because this is completely contradictory to how I play Diablo.
Ah, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy.
So, just to let you know, I have the highest rated and highest viewed guide on Heroes Fire.
Oh,
I do have this build coming in as my second lineup for build, but how this Diablo's going to play, he's going to pick up block level 1, obviously.
Uh-huh.
He's going to pick up everything after that. It's going to go all into Flame Stomp and Battle Momentum and a Lightning Breath.
Lightning Breath?
Mm-hmm.
You think Lightning Breath?
Yeah.
You don't think that they would, like, Maw and APOC together?
No. Maybe, but I think it's probably going to be Lightning Breath.
Huh.
It's like this really... It's a super, like, fire-focused
unstoppable way
Diablo.
of, like, clearing everybody out.
It's like this super, super bruiser version of Diablo. I've tried it out. It's not really for me, but it works really well when you have two warriors. Because if you have one warrior, like Diablo's your sole warrior, you go for the build that I have on Heroes Fire.
Uh-huh.
If you have two warriors though, you go for this Flame Stomp heavy build. I've seen it before in EU. Well, actually, I've heard about it before in EU. Somebody was telling me about it. I think it was Baker who was telling me about it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's a really cool bruiser type Diablo, and it does a lot of damage. Or maybe it was Kenma. I think Kenma was actually telling me about it. It's a really like bruisery type of Diablo instead of being like the heavy sustain, never gonna die Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. It's an interesting style, and I'm really curious to see how it's gonna work against Imaginary Gaming, because if you let that Diablo get into the back line, that's gonna be like game over.
And that, you know, yeah, I think that's really valuable, and just having Lightning Breath be unstoppable when they have as much CC as they do, Murda and ETC, it's going to be so valuable to them. It also allows them to control more of the fight. You know, being able, when you have like the hard engage like Muradin, like ETC, like you know, when that sort of engage happens, you need to either make a decision. Do we want to try to back off because Hammer is kind of in the back line and we can try to get away from her, or do we just want to take him head on? And Diablo is able to do that. Diablo is able to say, let's hang out in here and force our opponents back.
So I just tried to go back over to cameras, and Skype decided it didn't want to do that again.
Nope, not today. So where do we stand?
We're just kind of sitting on the drafting, but
Cool.
I would just really like it if XSplit would kind of work here. But it looks like we got the game going on, so we're just gonna let that happen. That's gonna be a thing going on.
Oh, it also means that they can't see my yawn. I just yawned harder than I've ever yawned in my entire life.
That was
It was a little bit painful. That was it.
That was the hardest yawn ever. There we go. Cameras working. All right, we got a little bit
everybody.
Yeah, look. Now look at how yawned you look.
I'm like, I got tears in my eyes. What's wrong, Unctuous? Nothing. I
Just yawning.
Just yawn.
All right, so it's going to be really interesting to see that this double tank going against double tank, because normally when we see double tank, we see one team has double tank, the other team doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But this time it's going to be like just two walls just slowly closing in on each other, almost in a Star Wars-esque kind of a Star Wars-esque kind of way. So over here on the left-hand side, we've got IMG. Arakeen going to be playing on the Muradin. We've got Yuki on ETC. Kyu on Sylvanas again. Donatan yet again on Sergeant Hammer. And down here, it's Taku-san. And oh my god, I forgot to actually update that we're going against Genji.
All right, and on the east side of the map, our red team, it is none other than Team Genji. We have Yellow Flash on an Uberak. It's so hard to read their names when they're moving around.
It is.
on Malfurion, Kreku on Zagara, Perzible on Vala, and I think that's it. Genji on Diablo. But a very, very quick engagement here right in the center of the map, and they really want this watchtower. They really, they really want it. It's not hugely important, I mean, but it is 4-on-4 in this top lane. They're going to rotate out very, very quickly here, just make sure that they're soaking all the lanes. But that's a lot of damage right off the bat on both teams here.
It really is, and that's just kind of setting the pace, I guess, of how both these teams are going to be laning. Right now, we've got the ETC going yet again for the tower. It looks like that's not going to be too successful. Already, we see Diablo picking up that block exactly as I was predicting. Yes, I got it. Got it. I'm
so right, dude. You're just so.
I'm so right. I'm so smart. I'm so Diablo. In the middle lane, though, we've got the Muradin versus the Anubarak, and in the bot lane, it's going to be that Brightwing versus the Vala. That's going to be a really tough lane for the Vala, actually, because Brightwing has got a really strong auto attack, and with that double healing, that is a slight bug right now. It's not affecting too much, but the slight bug on Brightwing makes her very, very strong in lane.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be brutal. I mean, and she's strong early game anyway. But Val's doing a nice job here. It looks like Taku-san not really going out of his way to take advantage of him of what he's got going on right now until just now. But the temples are spawning, which means we kind of need to move up over on the watchtower. Yuki moving in, trying to give a little bit of an engagement for Kyu to do as much damage as possible before the people filter out onto the temples, but not doing as much as he would have liked. He actually took quite a bit of damage himself. Now that'll get worked out. Of course, he's got his E, which is going to give him that self heal, which is really, really valuable. But yeah, I love the tank battles in the center of the map, man.
Yeah, I mean, literally tank battles as well. Donatan doing a lot of damage. Genji is going to go down here. Arakeen coming on in. Oh, yes, just barely. Arakeen is going to be able to pick up that last little hit there and be able to win. Donatan now going to start sieging that middle lane. Meanwhile, Zagar going to take the top shrine, and the middle shrine is going to go on over to red team for a couple more shots. It looks like they want to take a little bit of a backline as they try and go in on Donatan.
Yeah, and actually Vala fell as well, so they're getting full soak in the bottom lane while their opponents aren't. So it's going to be level 5 to level 4 here. So a very, very early lead for Imaginary.
But both of them are in the same talent tier, so at least they've got that going for them.
Yeah.
And they had to let up on that top shrine here on the blue, so it's going to go over for IMG for the time being. That's going to be nice for them. They were taking a lot of shrine damage actually before, because both those shrines were on the red side. But now they've picked up that top. They've got Donatan to be able to siege up in the middle as well. So they're doing pretty well as long as they can get Arakeen out of this fight, and he's going to be able to get out. Ooh, Yellow Flash trying to engage yet again, but not going to be successful.
Yeah, he actually got way, way, way too far forward. Yuki and Sylvanas able to come in as well and actually pick up that kill right there. He just got a little too aggressive. He got out of position. He tried to burrow charge in to secure the kill, but couldn't do it. All right, so in the bottom lane, Taku-san in the bottom lane still doing a really nice job here, just keeping Vala off. I mean, he's about to run out of mana, and there's no one to teleport back onto. Someone might need to rotate down just to give him a little help. Nope, able to get a tap on that well, so he's going to be sticking around for just a little while longer here.
That's actually pretty cool to notice that the Vala is actually doing pretty well in terms of dealing with that Brightwing. Hasn't really had to go back too many times. I think in terms of experience, I think they're both sitting pretty well. I know there's experience total somewhere around here. Yeah, actually, Vala's doing pretty well. 2,400. Brightwing's sitting at 3,400. So I guess Brightwing did kind of
picked up a kill. Actually, picked up a kill on Vala earlier. So there was a full lane soak in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
But actually, the stun! Whoa. Oh no! Actually, looks like Donatan just attacked Vala away from them, shoved her a little bit further behind the wall, which kind of destroyed their plans there. But 7-7, both on equal talent tiers. Both teams probably going to move back, get their own bruisers. Bruisers have already been taken for our red team, which is actually a little ahead of themselves. I think that's a little bit early. Sylvanas is going to be able to deal with these very, very quickly before the temple actually spawns.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting decision, but they are going to be able to start pushing this bottom lane really strongly. They've got Zagar, they've got Anubarak, they've got that really, really strong presence down here. Now notice that Anubarak did not go full Beetle build. He did pick up Legion of Beetles at level 1, but picked up the extended spikes. At level 4. At level 1 picked up the extended spikes, which I think is actually probably a little bit more tailored towards trying to get to that back line, because those spikes just go a little bit further. It's going to be able to disrupt that Sergeant Hammer just a little bit more. Ooh, yeah, Yuki going straight on in here, though.
There momentarily. Yuki moving in as well, trying to do whatever damage he can. Ooh, the flip there, but no follow-up from Malfurion. He was way out of position, and a big fight going down. Oh, Diablo actually getting stunned and polymorphed as well. He will fall. Vala needs to be so careful in that back line. Needs to stay back there, especially with Sergeant Hammer pushing forward, trying to deal the damage. And Donatan actually doing a huge amount of damage to the enemy team. So now it's 4 on 5. They're all pretty low here. Moving back just a tap. They need to get as much damage on their opponents as possible before level 10 happens. The burrow charge forward. Donatan needs to run away as quickly as possible, and a beautiful stun coming out here from Muradin. Donatan staying alive for just a little while longer, and Anubarak falling, which means there's no tank left here for the red team. They're going to need to move back until Diablo can rotate in, and it looks like Vala's going to go back as well. Level 10 about to come up for our blue team.
It's such a scary spot as well because of that level 10. Now they're going to get a shrine. Now they've got heroics, but look at how far behind the red team is. Level 8 still. they've got an entire level before they can even start thinking about engaging against the enemy team. The enemy team's going to pick up a fort. Look at just how far that rocketed their experience bar forward as well. So right now, this is going to be a huge hurdle for the enemy team. That level 11 to level 9, 2 levels and heroics over their opponents, that's going to be massive. They're going to use this advantage really well. Donatan now doing a lot of damage to that fort, and it looks like that's going to be able to actually possibly lead them to taking out this middle fort without any contention.
Yeah, it looks like Genji is thinking about getting involved here, but I don't really know how much he can do. There's so little health left on here. This is going to be just a very, very quick push, and there's no way that they want to full engage with their opponents. I mean, with those heroic talents ready to go, there's really no use. I mean, they kind of just want to grab the soak here and kind of back off, I think.
Yeah, there's no way that they could possibly take this in, but Kreku is going to get caught out of position. Yuki going to go straight on in with the rock slam, and oh man, everybody's going to just join in on that party and take out the Zagara. So now this is going to be even more troublesome for the red team to have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, Zagara's got to be so careful. She's so squishy, and on top of that, she has no real way to get away. And then you pair that with the amount of CC that Imaginary has, and it's just instant death if you get it all out of position. But it looks like they finally have their 10, so they're going to try to move in here. Genji moving on forward. Looks like he's thinking about picking an engage, but he needs to wait for Vala to rotate up. Vala's not here quite yet, and now Vala finally moving in. Genji getting a really, really nice flip on Yuki, and oh man, the APOC going down just a little bit too early. The Maul went down a little bit late there. Yuki finally getting a huge dance mosh pit, but dying very, very quickly. It's now a 3 kills to 0 kills for Genji here, doing a really, really nice job of cleaning up the enemy team. Right when they got 10, they moved in right on time. Genji getting an APOC, getting an APOC down, the Maw as well following up. Just a really, really straight engage, and that means that they're going to be able to even things out and hopefully get a couple of forts off this.
I don't know if they're going to be able to get too many forts, but the thing is that
push things back.
They had a really nice advantage here because they were able to push things back. Really looking at that fight though, the funniest thing I think was that the ETC was just a pinch too far forward there and aggroed the fort, and the fort was able to start picking away at damage while he was in the middle of that mosh pit. Oh my god, Anubarak got body blocked by the rest of the team, and this is going to go over to the blue team!
Oh, what a turn of events. After you come up such a fight like that, you've got adrenaline pumping, you're trying to make the really aggressive decisions, going for boss right there, but man, what a poor turn of events for Genji here.
Yeah, that didn't really work out so well for them. Now they've got Siege Giants, 3 Siege Giants, as well as a boss pushing down into this bot lane, and they're trying to take up this middle shrine here, the red team. But I don't think they can really do that. Yeah, Genji's got to come back. He's got to defend this. They can't give up a keep, not this early in the game. A keep is a massive thing to give your opponent. They're fine with letting that top fort go to the shrines, but letting up on this keep is not going to be in their best interest. Donatan really low. Genji looks like he really wants to get into that back line. Level 13 is on the favor of the blue team, though. That's the really scary part.
Oh, big Maw there.
Oh, the Maw does the Apocalypse meet. No, but there was an entangling root. There's the Apocalypse. It's going to be able to pick up 3 kills very easily. But can they defend the keep? That's the question. It's very low, and the boss has got so much health on it. The mule coming in, but it's not enough time.
No, not enough here, and that means that the bottom temple is actually going to be able to start shelling away on those forward middle forts, the forward middle towers anyway. So they need to move up to the middle. They need to make sure that they get at least the bullets off of this this middle shrine here, and they're going to be able to do it. They should be able to push Muradin and Brightwing off of this tower for now. But wow, what a fight, man! That was so awesome to watch. So much CC. So many AoEs, like it was just absolutely insane. All right, Anubarak moving forward. They're going to try to pick up a kill on Arakeen, but it's not going to be enough, especially with Brightwing there and able to hop out of any CC that the red team has for them. But so it's level 14 to level 13. I mean, a much better position than they were in earlier.
Yeah, they're actually sitting in a spot where they could potentially start turning things around. They do have that keep. That's going to be a huge liability on the red team, though. So blue team needs to really start just really emphasizing that. They need to start rotating that bot lane. They need to start taking these Siege Giants. That's exactly what they're doing, so that these Siege Giants are just more of a presence, as well as the catapults that already start spawning in that lane. And that's a really good decision here from the blue team to be able to push that down. Red team has to respond in some way, but they've got to be careful because level 16 is on the cusp here for the blue team as well.
Yeah, and so we do have the blue team going for the offensive giants, which is going to be really valuable. Just given the fact that there's no keep there, it just means that there's going to be giants just shelling away on the core if nobody pays attention to it, which is just kind of a scary position to be in. Again, just picking away at the weak spots of your opponent is one of the best ways to really kind of ensure that you can maintain a lead, like our blue team has right now.
Ooh, Genji going straight in on Takazan. Are they actually going to be able to make something happen? Murden is a bit remote at the moment. He's trying to work from home, but it's just not going to work out so well for him.
He didn't have the appropriate permission. Now he's going to move back and take out the bruisers in the top lane instead, and that's going to cue the rest of the team to move back. They don't want to engage onto their opponents. They're going to grab their own bruisers instead. Just going for a little bit of a safer play. They don't want to risk anything that they don't have to.
Ooh, but if they pick up Yuki here, no, looks like they're going to go for their offensive giants as well. This is going to give them a little bit more lane presence, or at least deny the lane presence for the blue team in that bottom lane, which is going to be nice for them. They don't have to worry about later on just random giants coming in from the blue side to push that down. The top lane is a little bit of a liability because the bruisers are now going to start pushing down with Brightwing as well. Brightwing did not pick up remote though.
Oh, it looks like Murden coming behind these guys. They're actually able to focus down Malfurion, who gets down to about half health, pops his Tranquility. It looks like Brightwing trying to save Q and will be able to do just that. ETC now on the complete opposite side of the enemy team, completely separated from his own team. Maul goes down, catching and rooting Donatan here. But finally, three members of the red team fall, and that's going to be a full retreat for Genji and Phil.
And they just had that level 16 against them, and that was what really kind of spelled doom here for the red team. The blue team's coming on in here at level 17 now. Can they pick up the full what? There's the ice block on Malfurion, trying to stay alive for as long as possible. Diablo's going to come back in here, but it looks like nothing's going to be able to happen. Arakeen picked out by the Keep. Go Keep. You the real MVP here.
Yeah, top player here on the red team. All right, so Phil gonna move back up. He's saying, what do? I have no one to heal. I guess I'll just try to take out a few of these bruisers, and he will be able to clean that up in the top lane, but not without a disadvantage. The enemy team moving down to this bottom temple, going to be able to get a lot of damage down there. And if they wanted to, they could actually split one person up. Now much too late to do that, but they could have split one person up just to try to take some of the bullets on that top shrine, but it's not too much of a problem. The entire red team coming down actually to the tank, getting caught out of position. The root going down as well to kind of keep Donatan in place, and Brightwing, a beautiful job of trying to keep Donatan alive, but it's going to get himself web wrapped, and once that web wrap disappears, oh no, they're actually getting completely turned back by Donatan and Kiyu. What? How are they able to keep everybody alive in that? It was 3-on-5.
Donatan is doing so much damage. Looking over at the hero damage, he's got 31,000 damage. His napalm strike, his auto attacks are just landing and doing so much damage, especially because they picked up not only Giant Killer, but they've got 2 Executioners on their side as well. So anybody who's slowed, anybody who's just a little bit lagged out from the massive amount of CC that's coming out from the blue team is going to get concatenated damage from so much from that Executioner. It's going to be great. Going to be amazing for the blue team as soon as they get anybody CC'd at all. Right, especially with 2 warriors, the Giant Killer is just going to do so much work.
Now we do see a lot of posturing here in the center. It looks like Imaginary wants to move on to that keep, but not going to be able to do it. Finally, an engage. Genji actually getting too far forward, pops APOC just before he goes down, but he will die, and he doesn't have enough souls to stay alive. It looks like ETC going to go down for the other team as well, so it's 1 tank to 1 tank, and a web wrap happening here on Donatan, and Q doing an incredible job of breaking that web wrap. He knows where the damage is. A good silence going down here. Yellow Flash getting out of the way despite the fact that he's only at half health, and Donatan needs to move back a little bit too far forward there. Vala getting very low, but going to be able to escape with his life.
Donatan is doing so well in terms of damage, and the entire blue team Imaginary is doing so well with the rotations. They're doing absolutely stellar. They even have Sergeant Hammer going into the front line just so they can have him take a little bit of the brute force of that damage and then rotate Arakeen back into the fight. It looks like we're going to have Priz take a little bit of damage, but he's going to be able to get out of here. Kreku trying to ward off with Roaches, with the Hydras, but it's going to be successful for now, but they are down 2 keeps.
Dude, Arakeen was down to sub 50 health as Vala moved on forward to try to take that kill, but was unable to do it. That was so close. That would have been a really, really nice pickup, especially because they have their Anubarak is down, and they want to be able to get on these forts, or excuse me, these temples. I mean, they can't really give up these temples. They've got, I mean, they have some padding given the fact that they have their wall and their 2 towers up, but still, man, it's just getting so down to the wire for them. I mean, their opponents have almost all of their forts and keeps up. Like, it's a very, very scary position to be in. They have to be on the back foot almost always.
Yeah, and that's going to be just why they have to go in here. They have to go for this throw pit. They have to make something happen here. They can still, in fact, win this game with 1 or 2 big wipes, because this is how this map is. If you can get into a really nice position and you don't let go of it, you can possibly just win. But the question is whether or not you can get back into that. And that's going to be up to the blue team to throw, more so than it is going to be the red team to actually take massive, massive win streaks.
I love this Vala positioning over on the left-hand side. She's going to try to... Ooh, Donatan actually moving forward. Vala and Donatan right on top of each other while the boss is going down. And we're going to see a rain down on Donatan, but he's going to have to get on out of there. That's a lot of damage. It means that the main source of damage for our green team is out of the fight until he can tap and get back in. And he'll be able to do just that. But it looks like the boss is about to go down. Yuki actually on it. Oh, it's just barely captured.
Oh, the maw!
Oh man, huge maw, but it is going to be a green team boss, and immediately taking out that Malfurion. The tank is very, very, very low here. Sergeant Hammer getting extremely low, but she is able to still shell away from the other side of the wall. It's a full team wipe for Imaginary. They're going to be able to move on forward, push with their boss, and they should be able to win the game off this. 40 seconds left on every single member of Genji, and I mean, what a fight. This is the ultimate game-deciding factor. The boss is pushing away, all 5 team members bearing down upon the core, and that is going to be the game.
And that was such a weird position for Genji to be in. There was such a weird position for Genji to be in. And the reason why is because they were fighting for the boss, but it seemed like, you know, when you're going against an ETC that's got all of the different ways to push opponents away and push opponents into different areas and just dominate an area in terms of mosh pit or a billion other ways, going in and trying to fight the boss and then taking that little control point away from an ETC seems like a really interesting decision strategically. But it worked out really well for Imaginary.
I mean, I gotta give a shout out to the I don't know how to say it.